Everybody ready? Okay. All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:57 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic in which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for Pope Francis. Thank you so much, everyone. Hi, welcome, everybody. Let's see, Pam, our clerk, can you do the roll call first, please?
Mayor Martin.
Here.
Trustee Galano.
Here.
Trustee Mute. Yes. Trustee Ruggiero.
Here.
Trustee Ricardo.
Okay, thank you. And we all have a copy of the minutes from the April 7th meeting in the packet. If you can take a minute and just take a look. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as sent.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. And let's see, under abstracts tonight, we have, under the general fund, we have $37,684.04. Under trust and agency, we have $542. Under water abstract, we have $7,329.23. And sewer abstract, $52,829.83. I will entertain a motion to accept the abstracts as read.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and I'll pass these down to Deputy Mayor Forlana. Thank you. Okay, we have a lot on the agenda tonight, so I'm going to keep it really brief. Just a couple of reminders for everyone. Let's see. We had a couple of things scheduled for Earth Day. We are going to be celebrating April 26th at 1:30. We are partnering with the library for a cleanup for Sarah Taylor Park. Everyone's welcome. We would highly encourage volunteers. If you can show up, we'll put you to work. So if you're free around 1:30, please show up at the park. Also, I just wanted to remind everybody about the Memorial Day Parade. It is on Memorial Day. The lineup for the parade is on Church Street over by Salon Doriano at about 12:15, 12:30. The parade kicks off at 1, and we do have a really nice ceremony afterward. So please join us for that if you stay in town for the holiday weekend. Also, we have a block party coming up on May 31st. So the block party is planned for that date at this time. Mike Hayden and I think the Fishkill Business Association are collecting applications for vendors. So if you're interested, please, you can reach out to the Village Hall and we can connect you with the proper people to get the paperwork from.
6 to 10? Again?
I believe so, yeah. So there'll be some more information coming out about that in the next couple of weeks. I know they're working on a flyer and some signs, so that'll be coming and coming up. Okay, so under department reports, let's see, we have Greg.
I'll bring the board up to date on the cannabis dispensaries local law. I reported law to the Douglas County Planning Department as required by New York State Code. And I got the comments back this afternoon. They did not, good news is they didn't deny the local order. They didn't disapprove of the local order. They did have comments. So I will email, I didn't have the time to do it today, but I will email the board the comments.
Okay.
Tomorrow. You'll all have them.
Okay.
Review and we can discuss them in public hearing, which is scheduled for later.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for us, or that's it for now? Okay, Nick, what do you have for us for building?
Mayor, my report is in the binders, outlines what we worked on last month. Starting to get busy with folks wanting to do renovations for their homes and businesses, coming in, doing some changes. We have some items coming through the planning board. Actually, just finishing up, we had the tattoo parlor approved at planning board and zoning board this past month in April. And also there was a subdivision approved this past month as well over on Rappeljay as well. So a one lot subdivision was approved as well. So those two items most recently.
And that was a residential lot?
A residential lot, yeah. Two lots being split into two residential lots. One has a house on it, and this will be a second lot as well.
Okay.
So my report's there, and then I think there's just one item at the end of the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And fire?
Report for March 2025. Number of alarms for the month were 17. For the fiscal year, we're at 282, and the calendar year, we're at 62. Alarms consisted of 2 medical assists, 2 cover assignments, 1 lock-in, 1 smoke scare, 1 building fire, 4 dispatched and canceled en route, 3 alarm systems sounded, automatic fire alarms, 1 MBA with no injuries, 1 MBA pedestrian accident, and 1 outside rubbish fire.
Okay.
Our mutual aid calls, we had 6, 4 were canceled, and 2 were structure fires, and all of our equipment is in service.
Okay, I just wanted to thank you and the entire fire department for your assistance in the fire on Alice Street in Beacon. It was a terrible, terrible fire, and you are always there, like protection engine, always there, always professional, always top notch. And I can't thank you enough. We really appreciate it.
Thanks.
The justice report is in the binder. I'm going to take a quick look at that. And next up is Glenn. I didn't forget him this time.
Summary of activity for the police department for the month of March consisted of the following. There were 8 arrests made, 27 service calls handled, 61 complaints or incidents investigated. Officers issued 57 traffic summonses, handled 15 automobile accidents, and foot patrols conducted for 50 hours over the course of 41 different occasions. Obviously, with the warmer weather, you're going to see more foot patrols out as they've been directed. The department was awarded from Lexipol, who does our policy manual, a bronze recognition for the 2nd straight year for our policy and training levels. We're obviously hoping to aspire to move up to silver or gold, but it's a work in progress. But I'm proud of the members of the department, and I thank the village for the support and allowing us to continue with Lexipol as our policy provider. And I do have other stuff to cover later on in the
Well, and I also wanted to congratulate the police department on the Lexipol Award. We're very proud as the village that our police department is always striving to do better and improve. So let's give a round of applause for the police department. Thank you. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Paul, we got water and sewer up next.
I should have a copy. But we did all our quarterly meter readings over time. We had an issue with our bar screens. We had to disassemble all our drains there, clean all our drains out. We did all our chain tensions on our screens when we did that. We did lose a VFD drive on one of our pumps for Round Hill Booster Station. That's been repaired. We were able to install it ourselves with the program, and we did have to have someone come and reprogram it. We did some sewer line maintenance on Main Street from Village Hall to North Street, and then North Street up towards Route 9 and down to our pump station on Gibbons Lane. That was all done. We have SB Church working on our well number 4 at the well field. I guess the biggest thing we've been trying to do is keep everyone happy, because I know we've had some odor complaints at the plant.
Yes.
And so we're doing everything we can. We've been, the issue was we've been using our sludge thickener to reduce our sludge hauling costs. And that in turn has created odor. So as of last week, we're completely not going to use it.
Okay.
We've ordered more sludge trucks. We had some come this weekend at the hall.
Yes.
We're just not going to use the sludge thickener until we have a set plan, and we can do it very slowly. We didn't anticipate having the odors using the sludge thickener, and we went in and said, let's use this thing, let's get our costs down, and it hit us a little bit. And we're doing everything we can to get it where we need to. I had a conference call today with our chemical supplier also, because we've been keeping data on all our pH, because it's mainly to tell us to keep our pH above 8. We're doing it twice a day, readings on our tanks and keeping it up there. And I gave him all my numbers. I'm like, am I doing something wrong? Like, and he's just like, run it less and let it get a little bit thinner. And I'm doing everything I can. If we get those, I mean, I'm kind of at the mercy too of the sludge hauling, because we can't just, I mean, you know, when they can send me trucks, I take them.
Right.
So.
Well, I do appreciate you know, taking action and sending some guys in over the holiday weekend, because I did, you know, get some complaints and we wanted to address them immediately. So thank you for that.
So Wednesday also, I'm get them all the data that I've taken, you know, just any more insight to, you know, what else I can do to try.
Yeah, what we can do better.
You know.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for Paul? Okay. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Stephanie, clerk, let's see. Pam, do you have anything first? No. And then Stephanie, do you have anything?
My monthly treasurer report for March is in your binders, and I will email it. And also, I know this comes up later in the budget, but we're later on the agenda, but we did get our gap pilot payment amount for June.
Yes.
So we were able to update that in the budget. So they're here.
Thank you. If you remember from the last meeting, that was the only piece of data that we were missing.
Yeah.
Was the payment from the pilot payment for the gap. So we now have that. Okay.
But bus patrol.
Yeah.
Is that the cameras?
That's the revenue from the cameras
on the buses.
Yeah,
that's what that. Yeah. Okay.
And Nick, do you have anything for ambulance tonight?
The only thing is their average response time has improved.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yep. So that's a good thing. And Danny.
Yes.
You asked a month ago about, you mentioned something about people being charged $500. The ambulance shows up and they're not taken to the hospital. So Hans asked about that last meeting. I gave an answer. I got a response from Empress, and if the person is evaluated, then yes, this is called an RMA, refusal of medical attention. The EMS personnel will evaluate the patient, then have them sign the RMA, which also advises them of the risk of not going to the hospital. If there is no patient contact RMA, then there is obviously not a charge for a cancellation. As of Jan 1 of this year, this is now a covered service in New York for Medicaid coverage. Just so you're aware, that was their response to me in regards. So
yeah, so if
just
you call,
so you're aware, it's not just a random. I mean, I'm not.
No, but if you call an ambulance, get checked out, and sign off, you're paying $500.
Right. And if they think you should go to the hospital and you decide not to go, but they've checked you out, they've done it, yeah,
You're paying $500.
you have to, yes.
Medicaid will cover that as of Jan 1. Some insurances will
That's the
cover
most
that charge, but
expensive
not
blood
all.
pressure you're ever gonna pay for.
For now,
I'm not being a wise guy, I'm serious, that's,
Yeah.
neither am I when I said for now, you know, prices are going down.
oh, yeah, so, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, of course, of course.
And then there was another question too. I think we answered it at the last meeting. The county cars, the ambulances. Currently, there's 2 ambulances and 1 fly car that the county has contracted, and it's only with Empress. Because originally it was supposed to be a portion of that contract was going to go to ambulance, but they were unable to hold up. They couldn't provide the service. So the county's 100% with
It was supposed to
Empress.
be a 60-40 split.
That was,
They
yeah,
backed out.
yep. That's what we were told. But we did have a second meeting with the county. And so they have a little bit of data to work with now. And, you know, they answered a lot of our questions. But for now, we, you know, and they know this isn't a permanent fix, but at least it's a step in the right direction.
The good thing for us is they moved away from the Taconic
Yeah,
and they put the ambulance that we're gonna be getting at 9 and Old Hopewell.
that's what they said. At
So
Old
that's-
Hopewell Road is a perfect location.
That's where our times are getting better.
Yes, because they can get to different spots a lot quicker. So that is good. So at least, and the county kind of reported back to us that they were surprised. I think they had thought that most of the problems were going to be in the northern part of the county, but they're seeing now that it's a lot down here. So
That's a busy area.
yeah. So, okay, thank you for that. And I had shared with the group about the kind of data that Nick, you've been getting for us.
Yep.
From Empress, and the county is interested in getting the same level of data. So, because I told them about this and how good it was, because
Great.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that at that level. Okay. And then planning and zoning. Hans?
Yes, with the resignation of one of my members and moving up for the alternate, that would give me a full board, but leaves me with no alternates.
Okay.
And I haven't seen any applications for anybody, knows of anybody who haven't put an application in. Also on the 29th, there'll be two courses of it, Dutchess panel up at the home center in Millbrook. And
Okay, thank you. All right, so number 1 on the agenda tonight, we have with us our Town of Fishkill Highway Superintendent Carmine Ispan. He has agreed to come and give a little talk to us, and so we can get some information and maybe ask some questions. So please, Carmine, come on up.
Oh, wow, it is on. Thank you. I wasn't sure if it was on. At least you can hear my voice. I want to sit down. I'm not used to sitting down and speaking, so. So my name is Carmine Ispan. I'm the highway superintendent. I act like a superintendent for the town, but also a little bit in the village. And a couple of things that I want to discuss, a couple of agenda items that I want to discuss is, and if anybody needs an agenda, I have it here. And also I have one of the snow ordinance here to present to you. Also, I sent each one of you an email personally with the new snow ordinance that the town of Fishkill put together. The agenda is town of Fishkill winter parking ordinance. One thing I want to talk about tonight, Fishkill brush drop off and green dump, our annual Fishkill cleanup day, our hometown hero banners shared service with the village, town of Fishkill tailgate talks, and also I want to touch base a little bit on Merritt Boulevard. So if I don't want to take up too much time, we can make it quick if anybody has any questions. First thing is that one thing that I presented, and I looked at our snow ordinance, and our snow ordinance has overnight parking when it snows between December, November through end of March. I looked at the snow ordinance. I don't care if people are parking on the road if it's not snowing. It's when it's snowing that I really care when people are parking on the road because we don't want to hit them. So I reached out to your commissioner in the village. I shared with him our snow ordinance. He reviewed it, and I wanted his honest take on it. It's something that we can do in the village. I think it's very doable. Only thing that we see a little bit different is maybe in the town and the village is that you do have businesses that have parking on street when they're operating. So maybe we just tweak that. If I could have your village attorney review that and I could send it to you, the village attorney, the snow ordinance. If anybody needs a hard copy, I have it here for you, but I did email it to you all individually. Please review it. The snow ordinances has been very good for us because in December, it's 70 degrees and it's overnight. It's okay for people to park on the road. It's when we call a snow ordinance in effect is that's when we now start either issuing a ticket or warning to the residents. What we're more concerned about is not hitting cars, make sure residents are safe. But if it's not snowing and it seems like it's less and less snow, that it's okay for people to park on the road. We just don't want to inconvenience the residents or if they're having family or friends over as extended families are getting larger and larger. So we want to make sure that people can enjoy the parking on the road and we have a lot of positive feedback. One thing I've noticed though is the first two storms, getting people used to it was a little hard at first. It's hard since the highway super, me, myself, and my guys maintain the village roads during snowstorms. We have one ordinance in the village and one ordinance in the town. It makes it a little bit difficult.
Right.
And we were a little confused and maybe,
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, sure.
So please review it when you have an opportunity. If any of the residents.
We'll have Greg take a look, yeah.
Any resident of the village want to see it, I can also send it to them. They can reach me at 845-896-6013. So please look at that. Just wanted you guys know that as village residents, you also can use the Fishkill green dump. That's very important. Not a lot of village residents utilize the green dump. The green dump just located on 2 Gehring Way. It's open on Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. and open late on Wednesday from 7 until 7:30 p.m. And Saturdays is 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So please, village residents, you pay for this in your taxes, utilize it, okay? And some village residents do.
Right. Yeah, we've advertised that on our like website and social media. We could always do like a refresher and put it out again, just like, you know, quarterly or something. Just
I can send it to Pam and Pam can, I don't know how to get it out to your residents, but let's utilize that. We do a lot of recycling, all of our grass clippings, brush, and then we have the local mulch companies take it away and they recycle it. Okay. So it's constantly being reused.
Yeah, we'll just keep putting it out there every so often.
Our annual Fishkill Cleanup Day, and this is including the village. And again, this is very important that village residents can use this. It's being held on Town of Fishkill Highway Yard on Saturday, September 13th from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Large bulk items will be accepted. Shredding truck will be on site also. Of course, no electronics. But please utilize this. Village residents, utilize these services because we're here for everybody.
What's I'm sorry, the date and the times?
Yeah, sure, no problem. And I'm going to email this to all the trustees.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
It's Saturday, September 13th.
Okay.
Everything I talk about today, I'll recap and send it to you. Okay?
Perfect.
And also I have it here. When I leave, I'll hand you the paper.
Thank you.
Something else I want to talk about, I talked to the mayor, is that the hometown hero banners. You have approximately about 26 to 30 hometown hero banners. We just recently bought a bucket truck. So we have over 250 that we need to install. What's another 26 that we can actually help the village install? So I'm going to ask the village attorney, I'm going to send him a shared service free of charge that the town and the village would come a shared service with the hometown hero banners.
Oh, that'd be great.
And so we just need an agreement that it doesn't benefit the town. It doesn't benefit the village.
And we'd like to have one of our guys maybe, go with you.
Paul and I will communicate about how we want to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But it just makes sense. Put them up, taking them down.
Absolutely.
We're here. And I did talk to the town council and the town supervisor about this before I'm here in front of you today. I think it just makes sense. You know, we're kind of the same, but we're different. But
yeah, absolutely.
Also, we are holding on a monthly basis our monthly tailgate talks with the highway and civic minded other organizations like Keep Fishkill Bureau have combined services to give monthly tailgate talks. And these tailgate talks are very beneficial in many ways. Like we talked about pollinators. We talked about the importance of planting native species plants. We're going to be talking about one thing that's big to me is protecting our water sources by using less salt. We're trying, so you have some new employees that use too much salt. You have some older employees that use too much salt. We're just trying to come up with a way to lessen the salt in our aquifers. Salt is a pollutant. A lot of people don't realize that. Every time we put salt down, it actually affects our water. And in the past, like approximately 16 months I've been in office, the salt levels have gone way down. And it's not just, I'm going to say we're using a lot less salt. What we're doing is being a little bit more conscious on how we're using the salt. And also looking at like HOAs, apartment complexes, and how they're storing their salt. It's very important that you're not supposed to store your salt out in a complex that's very close to a drain or not at all. It's supposed to be covered by all 6 sides. So these are the things I'm trying to educate residents in the village and the town. And we keep on lowering the numbers. Our numbers are becoming lower, and something I'm very proud of. And actually, the town has got a grant to study all these the water sources and how we can lower the chlorides in those aquifers. But that's some of the tailgate talks we'll talk about for the residents of the village and the town. Please come by. They're educational. We'll have professionals talking about ways as a resident we can lower that. If you look at the town roads, the village roads, and the state roads and the county roads, probably make up about 2/3 of the blacktop. But the other remaining third, apartment complex, commercial, and homeowners make up the other third. And if we're all being responsible, we're putting down on the blacktop and on our walkways, altogether we can lower the chlorides. And this is something I want to implement across the county. Yeah. I think they did in Lake George, and it's really done major significant impacts, lower the chlorides in our waters.
I think it's wonderful. That's a really, really impressive point that you've lowered the level so much already so quickly. And I just want to say, and I did mention it at the last meeting, that I attended the last meeting, the tailgate talk, and it was really, really informative. It was great. They had a lovely master gardener, I believe she's Barbara Hobbins, I think her name, Hobson.
Hobbins, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, really great talk, great
Hobbins.
Group of people. Happy to see a lot of village residents there. So it was really, really great. So if you have time, everybody, definitely a good way to spend a morning.
Yes, we'll work on several different things like meadowing, like doing like wildflower areas. Like if you look in New Jersey, drive in New Jersey, you go across the road, you see these wildflower along the highways. Well, those are the things that'll help pollinate
right.
all the trees, plants, and stuff. Here's some things I want to continue to build upon and just add those little value adds that gives a quality of life and a curb appeal to the village and the town. And if you have any questions for me, please, you can call me. Like I said, anybody can reach me. I'm full of ideas. One thing I want to talk about that's very important is that we receive probably about 10 phone calls a week is at Mayor Boulevard. I know it's very difficult. It's a lot of money, but the trustees, mayor, you need to start looking at paving the village part of Mayor Boulevard.
Well, we are trying to get federal funding right now. So that's what we're working on currently.
Great.
What we would like to talk to you about is if you have any plans to do any paving down on your end, what would be the possible? I would like to at the very least, have it striped so that we can, while we're trying to get this funding.
So what I suggest we do is, and I can assist in any way possible. I know you have engineer, Larry Paggi. I can assist him in estimating how much the cost would be to repave that road. I can assist in any way with some of my working supervisors will gladly assist on doing the takeoff and any way we can assist making this cost effective to the village. it's that important that it's becoming almost hard for us to plow it in certain areas. So I don't want to start now ripping off my plow blades or something like that. And I can imagine Pam probably gets phone calls all the time too. But whatever you need, like the striping.
Yes.
We're gonna do that sometime in August, September.
Okay, because we would like to get a price for our portion.
Your portion, just a quick guesstimate, and I did it last year. It's probably gonna be about $3,800.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you have that in the budget for this year.
Well, I think we do, because I think we need to do that while we try to find the funding, that we're trying to get on the tip,
Yes.
the federal.
Yes. And in any way I can assist you guys, and it's funny, I got a call from the Gap. They're like, this road's terrible. Yes, and thanks to you guys.
Yeah. Thank you. They didn't want to chip in?
Right? So, but anything you need, Mayor, if you need me for anything, I'm
Yes,
here for you
please.
guys.
Thank you.
Like I said, if we need to mill the whole thing, we need, whatever we need to do, if we could
Right.
try to get 3, 4, 5 bids.
Right.
We use some of the vendors that we use in the town
Mhm.
to try to use what we do in the town, and if you're doing those roads in the village, a big package on blacktopping.
Okay,
It
so
might,
let's
we
talk
might get a
about
better
that.
cost on that.
Okay.
And the last thing that I want to talk about is prepare for Rev 250. A lot of you guys don't know this, but I'm also the president of Fishkill Historical Society, and we're preparing for Rev 250. And we'll be doing a lot of things around the village and town. And if you noticed, something I'll post on Facebook soon is we restored all the historical markers in the village and the town. So if you go look around town, you see all the historical markers have been redone and prepared for Rev 250. It's something I love to do. We had some downtime in the winter and we started painting them. And Fred, who loves doing it, he redid them all. And I actually did a couple for Wappingers.
Nice. Yeah, they look beautiful.
Yeah. So now we're going to be painting the post. The markers look beautiful, but the posts look all worn out. So we're going to be doing that now.
I didn't notice.
So if you look at the Reformed Church, you'll see the markers are all redone. So we just love doing that. We're going to be preparing for a lot of things with at the Van Wyck Homestead, and please looking for the village and any electeds or anybody residents to come and enjoy, because we're going to be doing a lot of good things coming up. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I want to say thank you with our joint effort for traffic to get the signs on Osborne in front of St. Mary's, going towards St. Mary's and then coming towards it. That was a joint effort between the village and the town. So that was very exciting to see that.
So one of our tailgate talks, we did something on traffic and safety.
Right.
And that was one of our first things. We had a lot of electeds come, and it was really good. And I think brainstorming together, we came up with a lot of good information. And first thing that we did is we had a couple traffic signs that give you the speed. And if you go up right up on Jackson, you'll see it flashes the speed coming down the hill. And those signs are movable. We can move them a little bit higher up the hill, a little bit lower in the hill. And also the county, I reached out to the county. The county is also going to enhance the school crossing signs. So they're going to add a couple little plaques to the bottom of the school crossing. There is 2 school crossing signs there, but they're going to add bigger ones there. So a little bit more identifying markers for St. Mary's will be there.
Yeah.
But the speed signs around the town, and that does affect the village. We put up 18 of them. We did the highway has 14 of them, and the PD has another 4. So about 18 between around the village and the town that we put out. So just to try to slow people down a little bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's one of our tailgate talks. And we'll put out an agenda, what our tailgate talks are, and which we're going to be talking about a topic you might love, topic you're like, hey, that's boring. But there's a lot of good things.
For everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good.
Okay. Does anybody need any hard copies of the snow ordinance?
I'll take one.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg also wants one.
Okay, good.
Thank you again, Carmine. Thank you for coming.
I'll send it to you too. Yeah. Oh, this is your agenda. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks. Okay. Thank you, Hermione. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Yay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
So next item on the agenda, village budget. So Stephanie, did you want to come up? Yeah. Just for a moment. Yeah. So at the last meeting, the only piece of information that we were missing was the gap payment.
Yes.
So it would, oops, go ahead. Did you have anything else?
The pilot payment for the gap.
Yes. So the amount that did end up coming in for the gap payment was 112,000 or 112,600. Yeah. 112,612,000. Say that a few times fast. So that did, we did adjust that, which again,
that was more than last year, correct?
Yes, last year it was 92.
Okay.
And again, that did not raise our levy. That actually just, it didn't raise our,
rate.
Right. Yeah. Well, it did affect the, it changed to the 1.959354 is now our tax cap.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is our adjusted number now. The homestead rate is the 3.331900.
Mm-hmm.
And our non-homestead is 4.794243.
So do you know the percentage that we reduced the tax rate by or no? Not all.
That is in the memo. So that is in the email that went out to you guys, I believe, earlier today. But I don't have that in front of me.
Nobody, does anybody? Did anybody print it out?
It was just updated in the memo.
All right, well, we've been talking about the budget. We had the public hearing. We have reduced the tax rate for both non-homestead and homestead, meaning commercial and residential property. We reduced the tax rate for the 4th year in a row. We are staying under the 2% cap, and we have reduced the overall budget by 4%. So that is the budget that you have in front of you. I'm proud of the fact that we were able to reduce the overall budget. That's not always easy to do in an economy like this. So 4%, I'll take it. And again, thank you, Stephanie. Stephanie worked really hard on this. Thank you to everybody for getting your budgets in and doing all of your, fine tooth combing through the data. I appreciate it.
It is all the same. The only thing that changed was the gap pilot.
Right.
Everything else is the same from the last meeting.
So I'll entertain a motion to adopt the budget as printed.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. And thanks again, Stephanie. Thank you. All right. Yeah, we all have to sign that. So, okay. Next item on the agenda, we have resignation of police officer Jonathan Wolf Davison from the Village of Fishkill Police Department. Is there a motion to accept the resignation?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay. Let me just sign this. Thank you, everyone. There you go. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the resignation of Esther Jackson from the planning board. Is there a motion to accept the resignation as sent?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Yeah, that. I'll take it. Thanks. Pam wants it back. Okay. Okay. So Joe Testa was the alternate on the planning board. So we were going to move him up from alternate to full planning board member to fulfill Esther Jackson's term on the planning board. So motion.
So moved.
Okay.
Second. Sorry.
Oh, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Mayor, do we want to just make sure we put that on the webpage so we have open positions?
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier too. I think we're gonna start advertising, maybe quarterly, just like to keep reminding people, you know, that we have open. Yeah, we'll put it on the social media too, just to keep it, just to keep it out there. Let's see. Okay, so the next item is the proposed Fishkill Medical Park on Snook Road request for sewer service. So let's see, there is some documentation in your binder regarding that from Greg.
Project. That sent me a letter requesting the village consider allowing them to hook up to the village sewer system. There's no road. And as long as board approved, I will negotiate with their attorney to enter into an agreement with sewer service for that project, as long as the village professionals get clearance that.
Yes, and I did meet with a group of them, with our engineer and the engineer, I believe, from Kirchhoff Companies. So let's see. The manhole is deteriorating and Kirchhoff. Okay, so this is, we are going to be giving you permission to work on an MOU with their attorney. Okay. Okay. So I'll entertain a motion for our attorney, village attorney, to work with the attorney for the proposed medical park on Snook Road regarding the what is it? The medical park project located on Snook Road.
So moved.
Second,
Any discussion?
yes. So they're going to, part of the proposal is to replace one of our existing manholes that's deteriorated.
Right.
And it looks like they want to connect by the Holiday Inn, so they're going to drill under 84.
Yes, that was my understanding.
And it's just sewer, not water?
Sewer.
Just
And the
sewer.
manhole that they're talking about, that's the first gravity manhole in the village system, right by the intersection for the cloverleaf for 84 right there in front of the old Holiday Inn. That's that's the
Oh, it's on that side, not on the others.
Yeah, it's on Holiday Inn side.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
The direction of the waterfall.
Yeah, I guess they've already, I think they were approved already through state DOT to do the boring. The last I talked to the trying.
And then we're not owning the line.
No, we will take over at our gravity manhole.
Okay. Right, it looks like they're gonna form a transportation corridor, because it's gonna go through, well, they gotta get approval from the Thruway Authority, don't they? Well, whoever,
Yeah.
with 84, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess the only other thing to do is look at the connection.
Yeah.
So right now, we're approving Greg to negotiate.
With Rebecca Volk.
Okay.
Who is their attorney.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm good.
And then you'll get back to us.
That should be an interesting one. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, so we have a motion in a second, right? Any more discussion?
Yeah, I just had, do we have any of the information that was discussed with the Dutchess County Health Department and New York State DOT that they say here that both agencies were very receptive in the approach? Do we have any of the notes from that meeting or anything that we can review? You can get it for us later.
I'm not aware of the quality.
I'm not. That was something
Yeah,
that
that's just something we might want to look at what other agencies had to say.
Yeah, that's their training.
Okay.
Good, okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, now the next thing we have is NYMER's recommended DMV lens program. So you have a handout. This is a result of our insurance audit that we go through every year through NYMER. They come and they do a site visit and they go around and they look for safety. Last year, they suggested that we improve the ground underneath our playground equipment at Sarah Taylor Park, which we did do. So now this year, this was the suggestion that they made. And this is for driver's license records. Okay, now Pam, you were here when they came, right? So, do you know anything about this program or no?
What did she say?
So basically, we would enter everyone's
their driver ID number.
And if they were to like get any tickets or if anything ran through DMV, we would be notified. So it's
okay. So it's just like an extra layer of safety
for us,
like character reference kind of check kind of thing. Okay. Okay. Oh, and it's free. When has this ever happened before? Wait, I'm sure it never did. It's free. Wow. So I'll entertain a motion that we install the New York State DMV lens program.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and this will also cover our fire department. So that's great. That's awesome.
It benefits them, Mayor, because it notifies them too of any infractions that an employee in the village or a firefighter may have. And then it allows them to adjust the rates going forward.
Right. So that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you, Pam. And thank you, Stephanie, for going on the field trip. And thank you for bringing back a free thing. That's wonderful. Okay. The last year's wasn't as cost effective. The next item on the agenda is to appoint Bonnie Babcock and Sally Oliveri as election inspectors for the June 17th, 2025 village election. So I'll entertain a motion to appoint Bonnie Babcock and Sally Oliveri.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, and Glenn, thank you again for helping us with the bands for the parade.
Okay, yeah, I've secured preliminary contracts from the Tarrytown Vets Drum and Bugle Corps for the amount of $1,000 and from the Hudson Valley Professional Musicians for the amount of $1,150 for them to both participate in the annual Village Memorial Day Parade.
Okay. So,
not free.
This is not free?
We'll have Stephanie work on it next year.
Yeah, we're gonna, yeah. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the band contracts for the Memorial Day Parade.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Glenn, for doing that for us.
No problem.
And then the next item on the agenda is the discussion on the village code related to signs.
I sent an email 10 days ago or so. This is in regards to specifically sign districts 2 and 3. So currently that's the intermediate areas, so basically any areas outside of the Main Street Historic District and then the Route 984 corridors. Basically, right now, anyone who would like to modify an existing sign on one of those areas has to apply to the planning board to come in and have their sign reviewed by the planning board. Once it's reviewed and approved by the planning board, then they can come in, have that application, have a sign permit issued, and they can put up their sign. We review it, that it's complete, and issue a certificate of compliance and have that okay. Sometimes that process can take an applicant a small business up to 45 days. It can cost them upwards of $1,000 or $1,500 if they bring a professional in to do that for them. In speaking with the planning board, it seems as if they are okay with discussing this with the village board, for the village board to consider modifying that process in those two districts to consider that that be done at the building department level and not have to come back to the planning board for those types of reviews. So it is something that I'm suggesting and coming to the village board about. And obviously, if you want to consider that and ask the planning board to issue a formal determination and send it back to them and have them give you a formal suggestion on it. I mean, Hans is here and he can share his thoughts as well. But it will require a change in our village code if we were to do so. In most cases, those signs are as of right. So as long as a person meets the criteria for size, those signs will be approved whether they go to the planning board or if they come to the building department for approval, as long as they meet the size and requirements, as long as they're not flashing signs, illuminated signs, things along those lines. So their review is really ministerial in many ways. So that's why we think that this could be something to kind of help folks out so they're not protracting that process. So that's why we're bringing it up.
And it's all, you said it once again, it's outside of the historical district.
Outside of the main street historic.
Yeah.
Where's the intermediate areas?
So it's basically, trustee, anything outside of Main Street. And that's really the best way.
But what do you consider, so past the post office?
Yeah, so the Main Street, so it says the historic Main Street business area is signed District 1. So basically anything from Jackson to the basically Route 9.
Yeah, Route 9, yeah.
Right, so the two plazas are outside the historic.
But we can adjust, if we're gonna rewrite the code, we can adjust it to.
You can rewrite the boundaries of the district as well, but currently that is the boundary of the district. And this would only be the non-residential area.
Right, yeah.
And then you would prove color and shape and all of that other?
Correct, but as of right now, again, pretty much everything would be approved as long as it fits within the guidelines of the code.
Right.
Which is, as long as they don't exceed the square footage for the district.
Right.
As long as they're not illuminated, flashing, full motion.
Well, do we allow some of that, or is that pre-existing, the ShopRite one?
That's pre-existing in the code.
So we don't allow any more of those?
Correct, and you'd have to, if you wanted something other than what is written specifically in the code, you'd have to get a variance.
Right, so the signs would be already, you wouldn't need a variance because it would be, the size would be appropriate, everything would be appropriate.
Correct.
So you wouldn't really be looking for anything additional.
As long as you fit within what is written into the district regulations.
Right. Oh, I don't have a problem.
And that goes to you. And then anything outside of that, anything signed that's bigger.
That would have to, yeah, that would have to go to the zoning.
ZBA.
Yeah.
Moving, they want a waving arm on their ZBA. They would have to all go there.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be really helpful for people, just to save them time and money, really. So I think it seems like a good idea. I would like, maybe Hans, if we could have the planning board prepare like a memo for the village board to, so we can discuss this a little bit further.
Excuse me, Nick brought it before the planning board or last meeting, and the members that were there sort of agreed. Just that if a new business came in, they would have to go before the planning board for the new sign.
Right.
Their site plan approval anyway.
Right. So this would be like an additional, if they wanted to change something.
Right.
They just, right. Yeah, they decide a year down the line, they want to do a different color or something.
Like the hotels down there change their signs like people change signs.
Okay.
For instance, Verizon came in recently.
Verizon's
rebranding.
Right.
The color on their sign from red and black to with now a yellow star on their sign.
Well, I think this would make us a much more business friendly village. So I think I like it. So if, you know, you don't mind, having the board prepare a memo for us, that'd be wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the other side of it, Mayor, we may need to start a process with, Greg as well, because it is a modification of the village law, the code. Would we want to maybe start that process, whatever we need to do with Greg, and while the planning board is getting their memo?
Well, what do you think, Greg?
Well, I think it's a good idea if you were to give me some proposed wording, what you think.
Okay.
You would feel comfortable with.
Sure.
I can work in the wording.
Okay.
Great.
All right, that sounds good.
But we name the public hearing probably.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Okay, so if you guys can work together, that'll help, you know, expedite things, and then we'll plan for.
Great.
Yeah. Anybody else have any? Okay.
Nice work, Nick.
Yes, thank you. Okay, that is the last item on the agenda. So, Anthony, do you have anything for this? Nick?
I do not.
What was that?
I do not.
Oh, not me, neither.
Do not?
Did we receive a letter from a student that was an honor society? They were looking at they were making some suggestions to the village. One of the suggestions was possibly another crosswalk down closer towards like CVS area.
I never received a letter.
No, I didn't see anything.
So that's going to be something for the board to look at. It's going to be coming in. She might want to also come in and speak.
Okay.
They live on Weston, and she's like an 8th grader, and she's doing a proposal. But one of the thought processes, and it was actually a really good idea and something I've been thinking about for a long time, is another crosswalk farther down if we could in the village, like you know where the insurance agency is, and El Figlio, that plaza there. There's a lot of people crossing that area there, so I don't know if that's something that we could look into. Maybe our safer street grant, if we can use maybe some.
Right. Well, we are going to be doing, you know, that study.
The insurance company parking that parking lot.
Yes, and they run across.
They make the employees park over there.
They play.
And there's more businesses coming in there, and it's like, you know, the kids, like, you know, when my kids cross, and they can cross all the way up here, but you know, you're still able to walk down further and then cross. It's a thought, and I'll get that information.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely have her reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to her.
Yeah, see if you get her for the next meeting.
Yeah, I will.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great.
Have a thought.
Okay.
Always good.
All right. Let's see. I feel like there was something else I had to bring up and I can't think of it. Does anybody from the public have anything they wanted to share? Danny?
I just want to say thank you to you and Nick for getting the Gold's Gym Plaza to put that stop sign back up. CVS.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Nick.
Just really quickly, since we're talking about village and town services, so the village residents are welcome to go to the town to buy spay-neuter certificates for cats to be utilized at our clinic. Our clinic is going to be moving from Trinity. This is the first public announcement. So we're going to be moving from Trinity to Ocean State Job Lot. And It's going to be as of May or so. Next clinic we're running. But we have certificates at the town for a spay or neuter of a cat for $37.50.
Wow.
You can go to the town, buy the certificate, come to our clinic, and essentially instead of paying, I'm the money keeper. So instead of paying me, you're giving me the certificate. So village residents are welcome to do that as well.
That's wonderful. So $37.
$37.50.
Okay, $37.50. And what is
So that includes the spay or the neuter and the rabies vaccine.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's also other services that are very cheap. Like
that's wonderful.
The vaccine is $15, which
yeah, that's amazing. Yes, yes. So thank you for that. That's good information.
Are you moving because of space? Because it seems to me 9 is more visibility than would give you.
It's so when we first started at Trinity, we were serving probably about 40 cats. Now we're averaging 75. So at any, you know, and the trick is when people are coming in and checking in, they get there from 6:30 in the morning, you know, we're checking everybody in, they're gone by 9 o'clock. But you're talking about 50 to 60 people, cars at one time in Trinity. They've been so gracious, we've been there for probably 12 years.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, so we'll miss them, but Ocean State the egress is much better.
Yes.
The parking lot is much bigger. So.
Well, that's good of them to have you, so thankfully. And you know, if you have a flyer or you make please get it to us because we'll be happy to put that out. I know there's a lot of people, you know, vet bills get really expensive, right? And things are getting expensive. So that's a wonderful thing to be able to get the rabies and the neuter for an inexpensive price. So thank you for that. And we're happy to share that information with everybody. So is anybody else? We're good.
Move to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. There's a lot of stuff.